Welcome to the Tesla Power Podcast, the Tesla energy community covering solar panels, solar roof, and Powerwall for your home. I'm Aaron Brady. Today, let's talk about viewer installs. We've got visuals on standing seam, Terra Cotta, and the full solar glass roof. Let's check out a video from another third-party installer. Let's talk about Tesla opening solar roof to the full GEOGRAPHIC USA. And let's wrap it up with updates on the Tesla Referral Program. Let's do it. This podcast is so much better when we get input from the community. We need photos, we need videos, we need comments, questions from you. Yeah, you. You can leave a comment on this video. You can call 203-816-5150, or you can email teslapowerpodcast@gmail.com. And you can send links to your own videos that are posted on your own YouTube channel. This might even be the best way. So if you've been commenting, or if you're looking at, or if you're watching this video, you probably have your own YouTube account. You can post a video there and send me a link. So our first comment comes from Northampton Arts Council. They dropped me a quick note, quote, "I just scheduled my solar roof install, really excited," end quote. Now, I remember when I first placed our order and we got our install date, I was freaking excited I could sleep. So huge congratulations on your upcoming install. Now, please send us some video and let us know if you're getting batteries. You didn't include that detail in your comment. So we presume you have to, but as I pointed out in the last episode, you can remove your batteries from your solar order. So let's go check out the Tesla website. Let's see, if it's true for the solar glass roof specifically. So here's the site. We'll go into solar roof and we will place our order now. We will put in a fantasy address and make up a bill and get to the good stuff. And we can see right down here, indeed, you can remove the Powerwall. I don't know, very interesting, right? Things keep changing with those Tesla energy products. It's a reminder that it's still not a mature product or a mature market. So Northampton Arts Council, let us know if you're getting batteries, how many, and we'll look for some video of your installation so we can share it with the community. All right, next up, Marty Edwards is back. He has almost completed his project. He's got that raised seam metal roof. He writes, quote, "almost finished, delayed because Tesla had to rewire the electrical panel," end quote. And Marty sent a bunch of photos. So we'll start with his before photos. Let me pull those up, get them full screen. So this is his garage before the install. You can see his sub panel, his meter, and it looks like a solar inverter to me. I can't tell what it is exactly. If we go to the next one, we can see this is his house before the install. The standing seam metal roof has panels that run the full height of the roof, all the way from the very tip top to the end of the gable. And let's go through some of these other photos. This is his pallet delivery, tiny in comparison with what we had on our solar roof. And we'll see a photo later of the pallets that were dropped off for the solar glass roof install from one of our users. So that's the pallet delivery. The panels show up here. Oh, sorry, this is the garage. So you can see here the inverter, single solar inverter, which shows that it's not a very large system, maybe like 7 kilowatts or so. The solar inverter capacity should be 7.5 kilowatts. They do offer a smaller solar inverter as well, but I wouldn't expect it to be that small. It should be something around 7.5 kilowatts. And then you can kind of see the batteries here at the bottom. Here's 4. It's a little bit blurry, but these are 2 stacks. So it's a double stack of 2 for a total of 4 batteries. And it does show more of the supporting equipment inside his garage. This is the gateway, and that's probably the panel after they had to upgrade the panel. A little close-up on the batteries, showing that it's a 2 stack. And then this is the front of the house with the final solar panel installation on the front. We could do the math, but these will be 400 watts each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 4 would be, yeah, about 6 kilowatt, 7 kilowatt system. That's my rough math. I don't really know. But you'll remember that it was just one inverter, but 4 power walls. And you might be wondering, why so many power walls for a relatively small solar system? Well, he's in the Eversource service area, and he gets to take advantage of those sweet, sweet demand response payments I've covered a few times on this podcast. It should be possible for him to pay for his batteries and his solar system with just those payments. Not to mention the energy savings he gets over the life of the product. So congratulations, Marty, and thank you for sending in the photos. Next up, we have a video from a new subscriber to the Tesla Power Podcast, Anthony's Corner. So let me pull up that video and we'll check out a clip of it. Here's his channel here, and then I'll pull up his video. We're just going to show a little bit of it. Just a clip of the completed project, but I have a link in the description so you can go and check out the whole video yourself. It's got a really nice musical track, and it shows snippets from the very start of the project to the end of the project, so you can see the whole thing. It's not narrated. It's just got that musical track in the background. Really nice. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory anyway. You can see here, the full array, pretty big array. And then these are the utilities on the side of the house. These are the inverters and the batteries inside the garage. So 2 inverters and 3 batteries. So Anthony's Corner, thank you very much for, putting that video up online. It's very helpful for us to see, what's going on, with those types of installs. Thanks very much for subscribing. And it's the first time I've seen solar on Terra Cotta, and these kinds of details, they're really going to be good for other people who are looking to do the same thing on their own installs or on their own Terra Cotta roofs. So next up, we've got John Burke. Let me pull up his email. John Burke, he shares his story and some photos of his solar glass roof install. Let's bring that full screen. I was happy with the work in the install, though they did hit me with new decking for $6,200 more. Then I found out after install that on September 30th, 21, they changed my design and removed a whole surface of solar producing tiles from the front of my house without informing me. So look at the last 2 photos below. We'll do that here in a second. The original rendering is still on my Tesla account today, and the only way I figured this out was that I happened to see the new plans on a worker's phone before they were finishing up. The on-site manager said it's because the new tiles produce more power than the ones originally planned, but the system could handle the extra string of solar producing tiles on the front of the house. They did send Tesla quality control on October 14th, and he stated also that additional solar tiles could be switched into this area. So he also noted that I still have those materials under a tarp in my driveway. He tried to call Project Advisor to straighten it out, but he couldn't get through, left a voicemail. I also tried to call without success. No luck today. That was October 15th, but they did let me hold off on payment until this gets resolved. I'll let you know how this ends at a later date. Thanks, John Burke. End quote. So seems like it's really simple with Tesla. But if you can, John, verify the output of the new tiles, that it's higher than the older tiles, this is breaking news. So if you can get some documentation on them, get it for yourself for sure, but share it with the rest of us. This could be a really big deal. We would all love to know, of course, if this ends up being a happy ending. Maybe it's just a wash. Or, ultimately, maybe it's another case of frustration caused by Tesla's lack of communication. But keep us updated. We'd really appreciate it, and good luck to you. Now let's get to the good stuff. You had provided some photos, so you can see here. Let me bring it full screen. This is your new layout that you had just found, and it looks like it's a snapshot of their screen. And then you had sent separately in a JPEG your original plan that's still on your Tesla account. This is where the tiles were and no longer are. So if we flip back over, we can see that's section MP6. What I'll say about this is it's not the worst thing. Solar tiles on the north side of your roof, they're going to be angled away from the sun, during 3 seasons of the year. So really, value for money, it's best to put your solar producing tiles on the south side of your house and on the west side of your house. Although the east side of your house is still going to get some sun coming, as it's rising and going over, depending on tree cover, of course. But, if these south-facing tiles are getting sun, then surely, these east-facing tiles would be getting sun. But this MP3 section, that'd be where I'd expect them to put some more tiles. It doesn't look like it's going to be a lot of production, maybe like 0.5 kilowatt, but it's not nothing. And it's at the optimal angle. So I don't know, that confuses me. But still not the worst thing taking them out of the MP6 area. There's the JPEG, but here's an aerial view of the install, showing as they're getting a little bit closer. These aren't in order, so we see the completed project here. Really looks good. This is where they're working on the plywood, subroofing, I guess you would call it. It's escaping me at the moment. But here's the underlayment. And I'd forgotten they'd done this for us too. So they went through and did the tear off and then put the underlayment on before finishing the tear off on the other part of the roof. For my project, the different roof sections are a lot more defined. This looks very odd to me that it's got half of one roof and a quarter of another roof, with underlayment on it. But, whatever they need to do to get it done right. More of the early stages of the project. Some of the underlayment here as they're getting further along. Oh, and you can see all those pallets. So for the Tesla Solar roof, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total pallets. Probably more, not even in this photo, but it's just a lot of material to get this job done. You can see here, everything's got the underlayment already applied, and they have staged some of these solar roof tiles here at the top of the crest of the roof so that workers can get up there and can, be efficient with their time, get busy. And then, of course, I can see your installation has the Powerwall Plus. We get the stacked inverter with the battery beneath it, and then the meters over here to the right. Very, very cool. A street view of the project. Of course, they've still got some tiles stacked up on the roof, but you can get an idea of how it's going to look from the street. It really looks nice. And from the back, again, looks great. I love it when it's a really nice, clear day outside and those tiles have a deep, black blue look to them. I think it's really nice. And on cloudier days, you can see it gets very gray, like a light gray. So the roof, it's got tons of dimension, tons of dynamics to it. Very, very appealing. Very nice looking. And then here's more of an overhead shot. Clearly they've got a drone. You're cooler than I am. It looks good. And here they haven't put in the dragon scale here at the peak, but that would come in, a little bit later. That ties in. There'll be, metal tiles. They won't be glass tiles that go in those triangular bits there. Anyway, again, John, great stuff. And, we'll look forward to hearing how Tesla works with you to resolve your situation. Thank you for the visuals. They look awesome. Thank you to Marty. Thank you to Anthony's Corner. And of course, thank you to John Burke for sending in and posting those great visuals. For the rest of you, bring it on. Comment below. Call 203-816-5150. Email teslapowerpodcast@gmail.com or send a link to your video that you've already posted to YouTube. Let's take a quick break and we'll catch up on a little news right after this. So WUFT reports on a community solar project that's got itself in a little bit of controversy. Quote, the Alachua County Board of County Commissioners has voted to no longer exempt solar utility facilities from a 30% tree canopy coverage requirement, and to mandate that they provide a buffer of 75 to 150 feet of coverage next to a residential area, end quote. Now, this controversy is over aesthetics. Because these solar farms are being put in next to houses, the residents find the farm a bit unseemly and want trees to buffer the land to obscure them from view. Of course, there's an alternative solution here, the solar roof, right? In fact, the article goes on to point out that the land requirement for this is quite high. To reach their goal of 100% renewable generation by 2030, they're going to have to cover a lot more of this, of their available land mass with solar. So down here, let me bring it full screen again. With or without natural gas backup, the land requirement to house 500 to 600 megawatts of solar capacity could approximate 4,000 acres. 4,000 acres is 6.25 square miles, end quote. It's not just about aesthetics, but it's how that affects land use in the county once the aesthetic buffers are taken into account. So it's more about land use efficiency. So all of this is why you can't get away from using residential solar. Has to be part of the equation. That's what I'm trying to say. Without it, land would be dominated by solar farms in some communities, should they choose to make solar, their primary source of renewable energy. Ultimately, though, it may not be practical to only use solar, and that's a big reason why I believe that Tesla is going to add wind to its energy products, specifically a residential wind turbine product. Although I guess it stands to reason that they would also add a commercial wind product to their offering, but I don't know. There's lots of commercial, wind turbine products already on the market. I'm not sure that's going to be their core competency, but there needs to be something for residential. So this whole thing is going to be a story playing itself out in, communities all over the world, in the coming decades. And, I expect, this will result in a market tailwind for residential solar, specifically for Tesla residential solar. And it's going to include residential wind and, of course, residential battery storage, as it becomes more and more obvious that residential is a key component for these counties reaching these goals. All right, next up, we've got Electrek. They report that the solar glass roof installations are officially going nationwide. Quote, until recently, Tesla solar roof installations were limited to some approved markets in the U.S. within a relatively short distance of Tesla energy warehouses. It's been limiting the growth of the product that aims to offer an alternative to regular solar panels, which is still the bulk of Tesla's solar business. Now, sources familiar with the matter told Electrek that Tesla opened installations of the solar roof tiles to any customer anywhere in the U.S., end quote. And this is great news for those of you who have been waiting to place your order. Of course, this is terrible news for those of you that have already been waiting on an install date for years. So, I don't know. We can look at all this in a couple of ways. First, we could say, well, there's not enough demand for solar roof, especially since the price hikes. And this is a way for them to increase demand by expanding the geography the product's available in. Or secondly, you could look at it as the third-party installer route is working out, and it gives Tesla the confidence to open this product up to more of these independent installers and therefore more geographies. So I don't know. I'm sure it's a little bit of both, but I have to point out that the third-party installer route really does seem to be working out well. And I've got something that I wanted to share with you as a result. So this is Greenlee. They're one of those third-party installers, and they've posted a video introducing a whole series of this product. So let me play that video for you.
And I'm here today to talk to you about Tesla's solar roofing. This is a glass tile. It's tempered glass. It's got a nice black, sleek look to it. It's got some texture to it. And I have to say, Tesla really knocked it out of the park with this one. This tile, this one's a glass one, but I'm gonna show you a solar one a little later. They look exactly the same. And this has an integrated solar system in it. So your roof is pulling power without having this big blocky solar array up on your roof that looks ugly. I've worked with several of these jobs, and I have to say, this is an incredible system that's going to revolutionize the world of roofing and solar. There's several advantages to Tesla's solar roofs. One of them is the aesthetics aspect of it. You know, in general, you're looking at having a big blocky black and stainless steel structure up on your roof that just doesn't look good in anybody's eyes. Whereas this integrates it in the roofing. This makes it look incredible. And we're gonna show you some pictures of what that looks like. But one of the other advantages about this is they've solved the problem of when you throw an array up on a roof, you're only pulling power when the sun is in the right position for that single array. And we typically throw that on one panel, whereas this material, not only is the solar hidden, but it's scattered throughout the entire roof. So as the sun makes its arc through the sky, you're gonna have consistent power throughout the day. The other thing they solved is just having a good roof. This stuff is incredibly waterproof. It's applicable in all climates, whether you're dealing with snow, freezing, rain, water, ice, hurricanes. This stuff is incredible. It is very durable, very windproof. So there's a lot of advantages to looking at this. Now, one of the disadvantages in the past has always been cost, but Tesla's really done a good job of working on that. Right now, it may cost you maybe 3 to 4 times what maybe a basic comp shingle looks like. But by the time you add solar on there and maybe you upgrade your roof to something a little nicer, you're in the ballpark. If you're in a nice community where you're throwing metal or presidential or anything like that up on your roof, it's gonna probably be a cost savings to go with Tesla solar tile, and it's gonna look far better, as you're gonna see in these pictures. So this is one part of a longer series. Please tune into the other videos, and we're gonna really get into the details of this roof so you truly understand what you may be buying.
So I have a link below, of course, so you can check out the series for yourself. Now, I've pointed out before that the solar roof is going to build many small businesses in the United States and ultimately around the world. Tesla has shown that they aren't that great at scaling the install portion of this product, and the increasing presence of independent installers is an encouraging sign that they're finally figuring out a way to get out of their own way. So you might have seen in the last video that Greenlee, or you might have noticed anyway, that they were featured on a station in Bend, Oregon. This is something that's known as editorial marketing, where businesses pay to have a story featured in the newscast for their product or service. So of course, you know, you can do that with terrestrial stations, and YouTube gives businesses the ability to do this without paying for access, just like Greenlee has done with their own video series. And all of this is an excellent vein to mine for relevant content, not just for YouTube, but also for traditional terrestrial television stations. People are super curious about these products, and you know, some people haven't even heard of these things, right? But once they run across it in the local news or on YouTube, it sparks interest in finding out more, and therefore more content educating these potential customers is in demand. So it's of course the whole reason we're here, right? Anyway, let's move on. Last up, we've got Tesla tweaking their referral program again. So Clean Technica outlines those changes to the referral program. Let's take it full screen. Quote, as of October 8th, 2021, buyers of either a Tesla solar roof or a Tesla solar panel system can get a cash rebate of $300 for a traditional solar panel system or $500 for a solar roof once the system is installed and brought online. The referring customer also earns a cash reward of $300 for a solar panel system or $500 for a solar roof. To be eligible for the cash incentive, customers must follow a referral link for an online order or use a referral code for a phone order, end quote. So, cue the referral code graphic. I mean, everyone loves to save a bit, right? You know, the creative director wife definitely loves saving. I mean, she might be the cheapest person I know, which is awesome, and which is why we used a referral code back in the day when it was only supercharging miles. Now it's real money. You know, it's a huge percent. It's not a huge percentage, I should say, off the final cost. I would say though it's an improvement. You know, there were versions of the referral program that included free power walls for the person with the referral code. But those things were so backlogged that some winners weren't getting them for years. Some might even still be waiting. So I think the cash option's just fine. You know, it would allow those rewards to be distributed in a more timely fashion. Of course, they get split. You know, the person using the referral code gets the exact same thing as the person referring. So it's kind of cool. Very balanced, very symmetrical. You might say, though, it's another sign that demand is low for these products. You know, Tesla, they seem to feel the need to add a referral program to generate some demand for, you know, the solar roof and solar panels. And, you know, it can be used to take those people who are on the fence and just need that extra push to move forward with their order and, you know, get them over the line. So, I don't know, let me encourage you to do the same thing, right? Go place that order. Go, you know, take next steps toward being the first person in your town with a solar roof. You know, or toward energy independence, or toward lowering your environmental impact. All of the above, right? I don't know. We'd love for you to join the community. Just make sure you share photos, share videos, and your stories so the rest of us can live vicariously through you. And with that, let's end episode 29 of the Tesla Power Podcast. I'm your Tesla residential energy community organizer, Aaron Brady. Let's do this again on the next video.